Hello everyone. In the previous video, we worked with our data. We firstly figured out what are the most important insights that we want to see in our visualizations, in our report, and we performed the data transformation in the Power Query. So we figured out that we want to introduce a new column of sales. We want to figure out what's the best-selling month, the best-selling branch. We had some branches there like Tokyo, New York, London, and Berlin, I believe. We had to figure out who are the top buying customers, the customers that bring in the most amount of money, and the top selling product type. So here are the things that I found to be interesting if I was on the management's place. So here is the dashboard that I built. Now you can pause the video and just try to analyze how does this dashboard work? What does it show? If you can tell me if you find it informative enough. And now let me explain you how I built this dashboard. So first things first, let me explain you which metrics and dashboards did I include in this report. So at the left top corner, you can see the quantity sold and revenue. As for me, they are really important and it's just the numbers. So I placed them here in the corner. And for the quantity sold, I didn't have to build any new measures. But for the revenue, I had to build a new measure. So I built a new measure and let me show it to you. So what I basically did, I created a new measure called revenue. And here is a very simple code or formula for calculating the sum of the sales. So as you can recall from our previous video, we created a new column. We called it sales. So this column basically includes the quantity multiplied by the price per each unit. So that was the sales column. And I just summed it up to have the summed revenue. So that was the simple formula for it. And here we go with the number, almost 60K of dollars of the revenue. And you can easily find it here. So it is called card. So it gives you just the number and the title of it. So it's very simple to make. And then as you insert the correct fields. So in my case here it was the revenue. And here it was the quantity sold. So you can just drag and drop it here. This is how it works. And after that, you just go into this field of format your visual. And here you can just change the colors, change the fonts and the font size. It's up to you how you want it to look like. Now I want it to go with this purple theme with the light blue colors. So here is how I done it. So there are basically all of my settings. You can see them here. So here you can choose the color and so on. So you can just mess with it, mess with the colors and find out the perfect theme for yourself. So next, I'll explain you how I did the revenue by month. So as you can see from here, August was the best months in terms of the revenue. December goes right after it. So how did I do it? I just chose the stacked column chart. Again, here in the x-axis, you place the months, and in the y-axis, you place the revenue. And then you can start formatting your visual. So here I changed the colors. You can turn on or turn off the title. Here, from here, you can again edit the y-axis, the values and the colors. And from here, you can change the background. So by the default settings, the background goes as white. But since I went with the purple and dark purple color, I changed that as well. Now, by default, I don't think that it shows you these numbers. So as you can see, 8.6K and so on. You can also easily turn it on. And where was it? So it should be in the titles. So you can just turn it on, data labels, and turn it off. Now, as for me, it's way more informative if you turn it on, so I just left it on. And again, you can also change its colors so that it matches the whole theme. Now, what I consider to be really important is dividing the data into the product types. So as you can see here, there are two pie charts. Uh, they're both in the same color theme because the product types don't change, but what change is on the left pie chart, you can see it's quantity by product sold, and on the right chart, you can see revenue by product sold. So what we can see from these two pie charts is that um, even though cases and cleaners sell the best, the biggest amount of the revenue is generated by the mouse and laptops. So yeah, it's a good thing that if you would put them right next to each other, this way it's actually really easy to compare them visually. Instead of just creating them one by one, you can just create one and then copy paste it. Don't forget to change your values here and the legend. So here I went with products sold and quantity. And this one, I went with product sold and revenue. So that's the only thing that's changing. And also, as you know, our data in our Power Query, when we were editing and formatting the data, these are not the names that we assigned to these columns, right? And instead of just changing it in Power Query or in the data itself, you can basically hit the right click here and rename it for this visual. So let me just show you how I did it. So for example, I just write 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But as you can see, revenue by 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all right? So this is what it actually does. So let me just check it, change it real quick. Okay, done. And the last thing that I want to add about the pie charts is that, as you can see, it has many slices. So here in the formatting, you can go to the slices section, and here you can choose the color for the each slice. Now, if you don't like any of these colors, you can hit more colors, and here you can change it. So I think that's it about the pie charts. And the next thing I want to talk about is the sales by customers. So as you remember, we wanted to figure out the top buying customer, right? Because we thought that it might be interesting for our sales team. So basically, what this bar chart shows is the customers that brought us the biggest sales. So as we can see that Randy Price is our top one customer. Randy Price brought us $1,200. So if we hit it, we actually can see what did he purchase. So yeah, he purchased the laptop. Yeah. So he purchased some laptops and let's see the quantity. 6 laptops, right? So he purchased 6 laptops and brought us 1,200 and brought us $1,200. And as you can see, top two is Laura, top three is Bobby, and it goes like that. Mm, I didn't want to expand this chart even, I didn't want to make it even bigger because I think that top five is more than enough. And if anyone wants to see more, you can just scroll down and see more. And how did I do this? So again, I chose the stacked bar chart. In the y-axis, I placed the customer, and in the x-axis, I placed the sales, the column that we created in our previous video. So in the customer column, it gives us the full name, and it it automatically will sort it by the sales. And here again, you can build your visuals. You can edit them, choosing the colors and background and so on. Okay. And the last thing I want to show you is this part. So as you can see, we have Berlin, London, New York, and Tokyo. As you remember, we had the requirement to show the top selling brands. So we just wanted to find out which brands brought us more revenue. So whether it was Berlin, London, New York, or Tokyo. So as we can see from here, it actually was Tokyo. Tokyo outperformed all of the other branches by bringing in more revenue. As we can see, Tokyo branch brought us 19.39K of dollars of revenue. And we can see that New York and London are pretty much the same, and Berlin is on the second place. So how did I build this part of the report? I chose the slicer. Now, when you, let me show it here. When you choose a slicer, this, it will give you the plain thing. And let's just choose the branch here again. So it will, by default, it will look like this. Now, in order to edit this, I I went to the slicer settings and I changed it from the vertical to horizontal. And as you can see here, it looks like a square, but if you change the dimensions of it, it will be just like on my visual. So again, it's up to you how you locate it and whether you want it to look like this or like that. So I preferred this version. Now, after you decide with the shape of it, you can go to the format part, and here you can change the, sorry, I didn't select it yet. So you can change the slices settings. So again, as I said, you can choose whether it's going to be vertical or horizontal. And again, you can choose the colors, whether you want the title on or off. In the effects part, you can choose the background color. And yeah, you can just play with the colors and find out which color works the best for you. So what it does, as I said, it basically changes all of the metrics that we have here. So revenue by month and revenue and quantity sold by the product type and the top buying customers, but this time by each branch. And I find it really helpful because if the top management wants to find out which brand was performing the best, this slicer will really help, and they can actually see which product is the best selling product in each for the each branch. They can also see in which month the branches were selling the best. They can see the quantity sold and the overall revenue of each branch. And yeah, as I said, I find that really helpful. So after you're finished with it, don't forget to change the canvas settings. So you can change the canvas background. If your dashboards don't fill the whole canvas itself, it will leave the white blank spaces and you don't really want it. So that's why you better go to the canvas background and choose the background that matches the overall background of each chart, and then you won't have any of these blank spaces. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. Okay. So okay, done. And now I'm going to show you how you can share it or how you can export it. So in the file section, you have the export and publish options. So when you hit export, you can export it as a PDF. But if you export it as a PDF, you'll lose all of the interactiveness of the chart, of the report, sorry. So you won't be able to hit the buttons and see, for example, how many laptops did we sell by each month, and you won't see the performances of each branch separately. So it's not really suggested if you actually need this interaction. So yeah, you can also export it as a Power BI template, but you'll be doing it if you work with the other analysts and you need to share it with another data analyst or business analyst in your team, and he'll be doing something else on this exact template. But if you want to share it with your sales team or marketing team or the top management as a complete report, you can hit the publish to Power BI, and it will be available as a link to the whole team. So you can just share it as a link, and they'll be able to view it in their browser without actually having Power BI desktop on their computers, which is really useful. So this is it about the visualization part. Now I explained you what are the most important insights for me to visualize, and I explained to you how I visualize them. And if you have any questions, let me know. I would like to hear your feedback. You can always text me and ask me particular questions about this particular dashboard. And this is the end of this video. I hope that it was helpful, and you'll see me in my next videos.